Assalamu alaikum everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we had a huge response to our video about the reasons why, our top 5 reasons why we plan on leaving Canada.
I did not expect it to explode like that. I thought it was just going to stick within like our subscribers and our community, and it just...
It blew up. That milkshake brought all the boys to the yard.
All the rotten boys.
The rotten boys. So we thought we would do a part 2 to that, because in the first 5 parts, we never really truly discussed like racism in Canada.
Well, so one of the points that we mentioned out of the 5 points, if you want to see that video, by the way, I'll link it down below or up here somewhere. One of the points that we mentioned was how we just don't feel safe here anymore living in Canada, and that we don't feel safe raising our kids here. So here, this video kind of is going to dive deep into that topic as to why. Yeah,
so here we go, part 2, guys. Canada has always been known as the polite country. Like, to the point where Canadians will apologize for apologizing about apologizing.
That's be like, oh, sorry.
But
sorry,
that's just how we are. That's
sorry.
Exactly. So Americans have a much more brash and like upfront personality, whereas Canadians are, again, this is just kind of generalizing, but on the world stage, we're known as like the super polite country. But one thing that we've found since that video is that politeness is actually just, it's like a cloud. It's like cover. A mask. It's a mask.
For like who people truly are on the inside.
Yeah.
And this is, I wouldn't say that we figured that out when we posted this video, because we've known this. We've been content creators for years now, and we've seen how racist people can be.
let's preface that statement, or so I should say, let's quantify that statement.
Yeah.
I'm a white Canadian, and I grew up in one of the most statistically white areas in the country. As a non-religious atheist, you could say, so I know what racism is. I grew up around, and again, this isn't to call out white people, you're all inherently racist. I don't believe none of that garbage, or that, I think it's trash, that statement. But I do believe that it is a big problem in this country, and it's shrouded with this politeness. And internet anonymity makes people very bold, because the racism that exists out in the world, you don't see it as much, because maybe that's the politeness kind of shackling and chaining the racism of people, whereas they get behind a keyboard and they're just like blah, 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 blah.
I think a lot of people also fail to remember that some of the biggest hate crimes that happened in this country were against Muslims. So number 1 was the Quebec mosque shooting.
What color were the people that perpetrated these attacks?
White.
Oh.
Number 2, the London family that was killed by someone driving over them.
But let's not forget.
And if you actually think about it, there were several mass murders that happened in Canada against Muslims.
Yes, but the individuals that perpetrated those attacks were mentally unstable white people. No. They're mentally unstable terrorists. Call it what it is. And domestic terrorists.
You know, the crazy thing is the London murderer was finally labeled
a terrorist. Finally,
that was a big win, honestly, for the Muslim community.
They made a mistake.
To preface kind of like what we're saying, like there is obviously a big problem with
when you feel the need to kill people based upon their ethnic origins or their religious background, you have a problem.
It's horrible. It's horrible. So it exists in this country. It's very rampant to the point of murder.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you look at that video that we did, and just go through it, she linked it down below. We linked it. I didn't link it. So go and check it out, and just go through the comments, and you'll see thousands and thousands of comments of very racist, very bigoted people that feel very brave and emboldened because they can hide behind a computer in their mother's basement and make these comments. The issue is, guys, is that those are your coworkers.
Those are the people that you send your kids to school with.
Those are literally everybody in your society. Not everybody, but they're
literally walking in the grocery store next to these people, and they are anonymous online because they obviously are not going to use their first and last name when they're leaving these nasty racist comments. But it really puts into perspective how many people are like that hateful, like that hateful.
And like you said, right, is that this online boldness, toughness, patheticness, it fosters, it breeds that hatred. And then when you meet up with the same group of people online, and if you notice all of these people who are committing these acts of terrorism, they're all within the groups of the same people.
100%. All those people, these comments really reveal like a different side of Canada. Like Canada is, just like we started off in this video, like very polite, very sweet, very cool, but Canada is like inherently very racist.
Yeah.
Clearly.
When you look at this,
the video proves it.
the soft white underbelly of Canada, it definitely has a lot of racist undertones to it.
Yeah.
And it's very sad that, you know, I mean, there's so many great Canadians. Let's not ignore that.
Definitely,
They're not all
yeah.
racist. We're not all racist. Canadians are great people. They have a very terrible, very garbage-worthy government. But Canadians in general, they're amazing people. But there definitely is a problem. And the fact that our decision to leave this country, to raise our children somewhere that we believe to be a better option, it triggers so many people's hostility towards us, towards our religion, towards our culture.
I don't know why it's so triggering. Like the amount of people that are like, see you later, don't let the door hit you on your way out. And the amount of people...
Oh, you're going to Gaza? Oh, I heard Gaza's nice this time of year.
Oh, you should go to Iran. I heard they're really nice to women. It just the racist things that people are saying. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
But it truly shows like the state of this country. I mean, why is our decision to leave the country so triggering? I don't understand.
Is it because you want to leave but you can't? And then that hurts your feelings? Or is it because you're just that racist? And you know what? There's lots of comments in that video, under that video, that say, make sure you take all the other Muslims with you.
Yeah.
Oh, Europe should follow suit and send all of the Muslims. Oh, America needs to take note and send all of them. Anybody that looks like you, anybody that is, you know, send them all.
Or the people that are like, you're not entitled to your Canadian citizenship anymore. Make sure you hand that back or your passport's back.
No, they don't know how. I guess they don't understand how that works. So how are we less
Canadian because we want to live somewhere else? Like I don't get it.
All Canadians came from somewhere else for a better life here.
Unless you're indigenous to this land, you have zero right to say that.
If you're white, yeah, literally, you have no right to tell anybody to leave. You have no right to tell anybody you should give up your passport.
Yeah. Dude, you're from Europe.
Yeah.
Your grandparents, your great-grandparents were from Europe and you were immigrants. And that's what we plan to do.
Why did white people forget that we're immigrants here?
I know, right? Just because brown people are a little more recent immigrants. Yeah, but somehow white people feel more entitled to this land.
It's crazy.
Even though they're not from here.
Like the Chinese built the railroad in Canada.
I know.
As essential like slaves to other races of people. But I want to think about it, it's been multicultural since the very beginning.
In the end, like we're making this decision based on what we want to do for raising our family. And it's for our kids. Like we want our kids to be living in a place where we know they'll be safe, you know, and that is inherently so important to us. So
most definitely. And just look at, if you're a Canadian, firstly, if you're not a Canadian, shut up, because nobody cares what you have to say about it. You're just a racist somebody else.
Yeah.
But if you're a Canadian and you look at the country, it ain't what it used to be.
No,
right?
It's not what it was like in the 80s or 90s.
No, it's not what it was when we were growing up. It's certainly not what it was when our parents were growing up. But our government is just the most ridiculous, socialist wannabe, fascist wannabe, pathetic government on the world stage. Pathetic, just garbage, trash.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is that, well, there's an election coming up. Yes, but the party that's going to get elected maybe is just as bad, if not worse, in terms of certain things.
Zionists.
Yeah, I mean, the country will do better, like in terms of the economy and all that sort of stuff. The country definitely needs a change, and it definitely needs a leader who can actually, you know, make Canada great again, if that's, you know, the correct statement to make. But it doesn't fix the racism problem. It doesn't fix a lot of the reasons why we want to leave this country.
Definitely.
And who knows? Maybe we go, we don't like it, we come back. Maybe we go and our government changes, things change, the country, you know, picks itself back up.
A miracle happens.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we're born and raised. We love our country. There's at some point, you know, you have to decide what's best for you and what's best for your family. And if it doesn't line up with A, then, you know, you go to B.
Yeah, exactly. So we are going to be documenting our travels. We are leaving to actually live in the other country that we want to move to for the next few months to do a test run. So follow along with our journey and leave us a comment down below. Do you agree that this country needs some help when it comes to the racist problem?
I think this country needs help in terms of pretty much everything at this point. But yeah.
So we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. That's it. Bye for now, guys. Assalamu alaikum.